Happy Saturday, MJ.
Yeah, it's an early one today.
Right, early
Yeah.
and short.
Well, we'll see how it is.
Hopefully.
There was like a lot of news this week.
I know, but
Yeah.
we're just like skimming over it.
Yeah, skimming over the news. We thought we'd do our weekly check-in with everybody. We were going to take the week off, but it was just like so much news this week. We decided to hop on here.
Submarines, cat fights, dog fights, cockfights. I don't know what else. We got a lot.
The sub. Okay, we'll start there.
Okay.
And kind of tragic. And the first couple of days, when it went missing, and all you were thinking about was, oh, those poor bastards are down at the bottom of the ocean.
Stuck
in the dark. It's cold, running out of oxygen.
And then you're running out of oxygen.
Yeah, like you must know.
Like some of them had to have been panicking,
Well, it turned out not be the case. It turned out that it imploded.
Yeah,
upon descent.
But until we found out, so it imploded before they knew, all the stuff about running out of oxygen?
Yeah.
Okay.
About...
Because they went down too low, right? It was only supposed to go down, they were set to go down, 1,300 meters, and they were 4,000 or something like that?
Well, they were set to go to where the Titanic is, which is about 2.5 miles down.
Okay.
So, they were going to go right up to Titanic, and they found it about 1,300 meters away from the Titanic, so not that far. They almost made it.
Uh-huh.
But due to the shoddy construction of this thing, it just imploded. So...
Wow. At least they went quick.
Yeah, they probably most likely never knew what hit them.
Which is
a good thing. And there's two things. My thoughts on this. The owner of this company was a real piece of shit. He said stuff like, well, if you want to be concerned about safety, then where does it stop? You should just stay in bed all day, because something could always happen. And he skirted regulations on doing this, even though he was charging, $250,000.
I hope he gets sued. Yeah, I know. I was like, that's an expensive amount just to go die.
But they signed waivers that said.
No, I know that. I know that. But there's still ways that people, though, people can still sue doctors, even though you sign waivers. There's still lawsuits.
Yeah, if it
malpractice.
Because this would fall under probably gross negligence.
Yeah. Well, with him out there making statements like that too. How dumb are you?
Yeah, and the glass on the front portal wasn't thick enough for that kind of...
See, that stuff all that you probably would be able to sue on because
they knew.
Yeah, you don't have it up to code or whatever. I would think that just because they signed the waivers, they signed it though with thinking that it was operational. It's gone down there before because there was somebody talking that was on the previous year's trip or something, right?
Yeah. It's been down a few times. But then again, each time it goes down, the salt water,
right,
does, and the pressure on the outside does probably weaken things over time. I don't think it's built to go down there multiple times.
Right.
The other thing that bothered me about it was how, and we call it both sides.
Right.
Was kind of how people that lean our way of thinking were kind of good. They were billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Like a billionaire would deserve that. And I get the jokes. There are plenty of jokes.
Right.
Plenty of jokes, on Facebook about it. Yeah, I get the funny ones.
I agree.
In poor taste, but...
I agree with you. I understand that they're jokes. The thing that really irks me about some of the folks that were making the jokes, they're the same people that got all pissed off and their hair was on fire over Dave Chappelle's jokes. That is the thing that pissed me off about them. I'm like, okay, so some of you sitting there telling your jokes that are in poor taste, that you are the same ones. Well, there's some things that you just never joke about. Like, really? Talk about the hypocrisy.
Yeah, well, and that's it. It's all hypocrisy. I get it. I get billionaires, and at the same time, there was this. I don't know if you heard about this. There was this boatload of migrants that were going to Greece.
Yeah, they're comparing that to that.
Egypt and Pakistan, and there was like
500.
750 of them were on the boat, and like only 100 survived.
Right.
And I get it. It didn't really make the news, but it did make the news because obviously we've all heard about it, right? So it's made the news.
Right, but it did make the news differently because, I listen to stuff during the day. The hourly news, every single hour, the top story was about the submarine. And it was like, there's 24 hours. And then it was like, the next day it was like, there's less than 12 hours. And it would be the top thing reported on every single hour.
But that's sensationalism. That's what
right.
That's what brings in the ratings. I mean, that's corporations. That's their job, is to bring in ratings. And if they were found, this was like what was the name of the girl who fell in the well way back in like baby Jessica fell in the well, and how everybody was just gravitated towards that story. It was kind of the same thing. Like, right. Maybe they'll find them. And yeah, I was wrapped up in it,
right.
And I get it. Yes, this other one could have been a bigger story, but just because that story happens, we're not saying that these 5 billionaires that died, is a more important story,
right?
Or losing these 500 plus people, in the Mediterranean. That's just as tragic.
It does, right? But it does seem like the way that the media presents it, it does seem like this was way more important than the 750 boat wreck people.
Yeah, but I think it's been a while since a story has captured everybody's attention and everybody was sort of on the same page for once, other than the billionaire thing.
True. What this should teach people is that we shouldn't be so fascinated by money. Like, you can be rich and still have shitty circumstances that happen to you. Like, your money's not going to protect you from everything. Like, the United States has a bad habit of over sensationalizing wealth. I mean, like, there is that aspect of it. Like,
yeah. I guess I had more of a personal connection to it because of, something that happened in my family's history. I never knew the person because he died before I was born. But on my father's side, my father's sister, my aunt, her husband was on the USS Scorpion. Mm-hmm. And the story about the USS Scorpion is 1968 off the Corvette. Well, it disappeared at sea, vanished. And no one knew anything for years what happened to it. We just know it vanished. And my aunt was in Norfolk, Virginia, waiting for the sub to come back and just didn't come back. And no one knew what happened. For years and years, no one knew what happened to these things. And do you remember, I was probably a little bit before your time, I remember it back in the late 70s, like UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, the Bermuda Triangle. Mm-hmm. Those were all things. All these unexplained phenomena. Well, it was thought that it disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Mysteriously vanished. And whatever happened to it. In 1986, they found it. They found the wreckage about 400 miles off the coast of Africa. And it turned out it was blown apart. Right. The official government statement was there was torpedo malfunction. Like one of the torpedoes went off in the tube. Catastrophic.
Okay.
Unofficially, they were tracking a Russian sub in that area in the middle of the Cold War. So you could put two and two together, what probably would have happened to it.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess I saw how that affected my aunt and my cousins who never got to know their dad and stuff like that. And so...
Right.
I think just putting out that kind of stuff on social media where, well, they're billionaires, they deserved it. There's family members of those people that I'm sure love them.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
deserve it. Like, okay, with your story, how often was that in the news? Like, how often did the media report on that?
I had to Google it that that it was found.
And you would. I mean, I didn't even exist when it happened, when it blew up or
Either did
whatever. And yeah, you were. Oh yeah, you weren't.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah, you were 69. So I wonder how much it was reported on when it actually did happen. You know, like that's the thing. Like there is something too. Like I always say, like the fascination with wealth in this country, I mean, can pretty much be categorized. Remember, lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah.
And it's like something that you aspire to. You get to hear Robin Leach's voice talk about all the great things that, wealthy people, how their lives are so much better than the rest of ours.
Or you had that show, Celebrity Cribs, where they
Right.
go to the rock star's house and you go, wow, that's a cool house,
Right.
It's always been that
Yeah,
way.
I mean, like, people should be like, I mean, there should still be a human aspect, though. I mean, the whole time I was thinking about it before we all learned that, it probably exploded or whatnot due to the pressure, I was like, that would be just terrible sitting there. Like, put yourself in their position. Money or no money. If you run out of oxygen, all the money in the world isn't going to fucking help you, Like before we knew what happened. But it's like,
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand some of the people being so cold-hearted and then claiming to be, I'm an empath, blah, 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 and going off about that. And like I said, the thing that really bothered me was them doing their jokes, and it's okay for their jokes, but it's not okay for a known comedian, Dave Chappelle, to do his jokes. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard when I look at it from that perspective. I'm like, God, people on our side are acting like real fucking dummies.
I think the other thing to learn is to, again, if you were upset about them doing all this coverage over the sub and not, the migrant boat, which if the migrant boat, you talk about stupidity too. I saw a picture of this boat. There's 750 people crammed on this boat that probably should have held 100, 150.
Oh,
they were hanging off the sides of it.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, talk about stupidity too. That is, I realize they're trying to flee a country, but that is dumb too.
Yeah, they're desperate.
On the polar opposite end, though, of it, I saw this one on Facebook too. Isn't it funny how this sub-story happens the same week as Hunter Biden gets a plea deal? Yes, the Biden crime syndicate sunk this sub to distract from the fact that Hunter pleaded guilty.
They just can't talk about anything without including the Bidens in it. They just can't do it, can they?
How can a drug addict and his bumbling idiot father be such mastermind criminals?
I know. They leave me speechless all the time because you're just like, how do you draw parallels between these two?
Yeah.
How do you do this?
And on that, so Hunter pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanors on taxes and 1 felony for a gun charge because as a previous been convicted of drugs, you're not supposed to have a firearm. He had a firearm. Where were they though? What'd they say? Well, that's his God-given right to have a gun because it's not the United States to judge that. It's God's. God told you that you should be able to have a gun.
Now, MJ, that applies to everyone except for if your last name is Biden. You should know better.
Oh. Okay, so Biden shouldn't have a gun.
You should know better.
So only Biden shouldn't have a gun?
Not if they want to take him away from us. That's going to be their rationale, you know?
I don't know. And okay, I get it. That good to have breaking news story here. That's how the justice system works. Okay, they might have bigger charges on you, but you reach plea agreements. It's not this whole big conspiracy. You know,
I know.
A little hint. Okay, and you can research this. I'll let you break it. But who else had the exact same charge as Hunter? Who?
Oh, Donald Trump.
No.
Right?
No.
No?
No. Maybe somebody close to Donald Trump. If it wasn't for this guy, there would be no Donald Trump.
Oh, Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
That's right. The taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't specify. So yes, the tax one.
Yeah.
And he owed more.
Yeah.
All he had to do was pay his. He didn't get any charges.
Right. Yeah. I think the same thing with Hunter is he's just going to have to pay it back, or he has paid it back.
No, I know, but I thought he paid it back. Already had paid it back, and then still they brought up the charges, so he pled guilty or something. That's what I thought happened.
And so this was a 5-year investigation into Hunter Biden, and that's what they came up with.
They must be so proud, and their parents must be so proud.
But the Department of Justice is corrupt. Now, hey, I will say this. I am glad that they charged Hunter Biden. That he didn't get away with it.
Nobody should get away with it. But even average people get away with it.
He sort of gets away with it because he's not going to really do any time.
Right. But even average people are given the option to just pay, like Roger Stone, to just pay, and you don't really get charged. They don't really charge people with. Yes, you can charge people with it, but.
Yeah, Willie Nelson, too, would be like the same thing, right? Because Willie Nelson lost a lot because he wasn't paying taxes. There was something to that.
Right.
And Martha Stewart, I think she's the one that she had to do like...
but hers had to do with...
that was stocks.
Yeah.
Insider trading.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why she got busted.
Okay. I think really what goes to show you, though, if you're rich, you can get away with this shit. And if you're poor, you can't. I mean, that's just you talk about two-tier justice system.
So
let's talk about two-tier justice system.
Why do they think that they know that Donald Trump is rich? So why do they think that he's getting poor man treatment? I don't understand this. It's like there was also a woman like with his whole thing and the documents. So there was an FBI agent lady. She's on her way to prison. Probably already in prison. She has to go serve time. She did the exact same thing. She hid documents inside a bathroom that she was not using, an extra bathroom in her house. She's going to prison.
Yeah. So, I think
for 3 years.
It's a two-tiered system. I don't think Donald Trump is actually going to do any time.
I don't either.
I think what happens is, and I don't know how they get around this. I don't get how they're going to have a jury. Because wouldn't all the jury members have to go through you would have to be able to be, certified to see these classified documents if you're going to bring them into court. So how are you going to show the jury members those classified documents unless you have clearance to see those documents?
Well, so they can't just go on like say, these are classified.
Redacted.
Documents containing but not get into specifics?
I don't know. I mean, that's what they're trying to work out.
I don't know, because they're trying to get it televised too.
Yeah. So you certainly couldn't have that information. What I think ultimately happens is there will be some kind of plea deal, just like Hunter.
Wasn't there already a plea deal and he said no? They
tried to offer him a plea deal and he said no.
Okay.
Because he couldn't continue to make money off the rubes.
Right. The thing is like Trump, if you're listening, they'll probably still send you money. All you have to do is tell them you need money and they will send it to you no matter what. You could just make up a new lie anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he could say,
my plea is costing me money. I need your help.
what he could say is, I can't fly down to see you in bumfuck Arkansas because of Biden's economy. I can't afford the fuel for my private plane. And they'll send him money so that he can go to bumfuck Arkansas.
And then he could just lie and say, and you can, like, one lucky winner will win a date with me. And you know he won't ever do it, just like the food thing at the deli. You know, he'd just lie. He could make even more money. Can you imagine how many of them be like, oh my God, I want to be in front of Donald Trump sitting there with him. Oh my God, shaking his hand.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll ever do any time. And you know what? I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with a plea deal if the part of the agreement was just go away.
All right.
Just go away. We'll
move to Saudi Arabia.
Go to Saudi Arabia. You know,
or Russia.
Your brother-in-law and his prince boyfriend can house you there.
His son-in-law.
His ex-son-in-law at the time, because when they have to get to whatever, enjoy that $2 billion. Yeah. And what about that? You're all mad about Hunter Biden, and you don't care about $2 billion that Jared and Ivanka got.
I know because they're like, they've got caveman mentality. Biden bad, Trump good. That's basically how the brain works in these folks.
So yeah, just go away. You know what? He could go to. I mean, it looks like Putin might need to go somewhere too. If the stories today on the news that one of Putin's closest allies in his army has turned against him, and now, as we speak, they're driving their tanks towards Moscow, and no one's really stopping them, which is a sign that maybe even the Russians have had it with Putin.
Maybe,
so
hopefully.
That would be awesome if just Trump and Putin just went away.
Yeah.
Just disappeared.
Just go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah, so we could get on to other things like, the cage match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Jeez. My money's on Zuckerberg.
What's the story
I can't stand both of them, but okay, so apparently, like, Zuckerberg is trying to come out with a new Twitter thing, to have another option besides Twitter, because Twitter is getting so ridiculous. People are jumping ship. A lot of other companies have made ones, like Post, Mastodon. There's a couple more too. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but so that pissed Musk off. So he was like threatening that he wanted to fight Zuckerberg. So Zuckerberg was like, all right, where? Because apparently he has like a black belt in one of the martial arts, or several martial arts. I'm not totally clear on that. But so I guess Musk said in the Octagon in Vegas. I'm like thinking, you're going to get your ass kicked. Number one, last time I saw him, like a picture of him or something, he looked like his bitch tits were coming in kind of nice,
He's going to get a little soft.
And he looked chunky when he was on Bill Maher too.
I saw like he had banned the word cisgender on Twitter because to him that was a slur. Now, cisgender is just the opposite of transgender. That you're the sex you are now is the sex you are when you were born.
Right. Why? My question to him would be, why are you banning anything? I thought that you wanted to take over Twitter because you were tired of no freedom of speech. Yet you are doing the opposite. How does that not? I get you hate the word. I get you hate it, but you're not going with what you set out to do.
But why do you hate that word? Because you're anti-transgender. So why is he against cisgender?
Because he just doesn't like the new terminology. I think that's what it is. And he is now programmed. He is obviously part of the cult, I mean, he's operating just like them. Yeah, I bet you if you put a Bud Light in front of him, he would try to kick it out of your hand or something.
Yeah.
It would anger him.
After he took over, the use of the N-word on Twitter went up 700 times.
And he's probably loving the shit out of that.
Yeah, but now you have a problem with cisgender.
Right.
I don't know.
He's a phony. He's a fake ass bitch. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
you called him something last night. We were texting back and forth about what we're going to talk about today. You called him
I don't even remember. Oh, can't.
No. You just say the word.
Oh, I called him a cunt.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they love that word over in England. You know.
Right.
Like they use that the way we throw around the term fuck. But I came up with an acronym. Can't understand names on Twitter.
Right. Yeah. I thought you were trying to ask. I know, and I thought you were trying to ask me
we should rehearse that
what that was. Yeah. Probably should have.
Yeah.
But speaking of cunts.
I think I don't know. I think Musk could take suck.
Really?
Yeah, you just get him in the corner and just lean into him. Put that weight on him.
Well, he's not that fat.
No. But I don't think Zuckerberg is. That'd be like watching Napoleon Dynamite fight. I'm trying to think about who would be Musk's size.
Yeah, I know, but even if somebody looks like a dork, if they know, like, if they're like a black belt in martial arts, I wouldn't fuck with them. I'd be like, I'm good. Sorry that I even started stuff.
What kind of celebrity deathmatch bullshit is that, anyways?
I know that's what all these fights are reminding me of. Is back when MTV had cool stuff on, during the video days, they also would do celebrity deathmatch.
But I've got the perfect card for it, though, because that would be the headliner: the Musk versus Zuck. Well, no, you could have the Biden versus Trump, because remember how Biden said, he's going to take Trump out back of the school, and beat him up. So that'd be the headliner.
My money would be on Biden.
Under that,
Trump's out of shape, and
you'd have Musk,
eats Big
Zuckerberg,
Macs.
and then you could have the women's match. You could have Marjorie Taylor Greene against Lorena Bobbitt.
That's why I was saying Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt. Boebert.
Yeah.
I say
Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert.
That's why I was saying the whole, speaking of cunts.
MGT versus
to
LP.
segue in, because I thought we were... Okay, yeah. So this one all came about because this one's hilarious too. Like, they're in Congress, and Boebert made a new proposal, and that pissed MTG off. She's like, that little bitch, and called her a little bitch, and admitted that she called her a little bitch. And then she said, she's copying me. How fucking sixth grade is that?
I know.
You're copying me. I'm telling on you for copying me.
It's like the redneck Mean Girls.
Right? So in a fight between those two, I was thinking about this one too. I'm like, okay, my money would be on MTG because she's always posting how she's working out, right? All the time. So I'd actually take her for that type of fight. However, if it was an old-fashioned gunslinger fight, I'd have to take Boebert, because, I think she'd probably be able to be quicker on the draw and shoot MTG first, because she had that whole shooters-themed restaurant. So I think in her spare time, all she does is go and shoot at targets.
It just amazes me, like, the level of how, I guess that we're supposed to hold the politicians to a higher level, and now you have cat fights on the House floor. I
know. It's like, why aren't you guys, they're literally turning our government into a reality show. It reminds me of all the reality shows.
You know how people on the one side will go, well, we look like a laughingstock to the rest of the world. It's because of shit like this that we look like a laughingstock.
Right. And they have no shame. I'm sure if you asked both of them, they would be like, they would stand by what they're out there saying, they would stand by it. MTG, she's already admitted to all of it. She won't ever say that it's childish.
Yeah, and by the way, to the people on that side, they're saying they're bringing up articles of impeachment. No, they're not. It's not even going to get to a vote. I think McCarthy already said, no, we're not going down that road. You don't have the votes to do it.
So he said that was too ridiculous.
Although he wants to expunge Trump's impeachments.
Yeah, impeachments plural.
So, just to be clear, when the Democrats held the House not too long ago, they passed the American Rescue Act. They have passed a lot of bills that had bipartisan support. Otherwise, they would not have passed. Okay? What has this Congress accomplished? You had a fight on the floor when you were trying to get McCarthy nominated Speaker of the House. You had this cat fight on the floor, this meanest thing to impeach Biden, which is going to go nowhere. You've got the two sides fighting over gas stoves. Republican sides are fighting over gas stoves. Nothing is getting accomplished in Congress. Nobody's bringing up any meaningful bills to help the American people. Immigration, you say the border is out of control. Create a bill, an immigration reform bill, and put it before Congress. Have the Senate vote on it, and have the president sign off on it. Pass a fucking bill. But no, one side won't do it because you get rid of your fucking boogeyman, right? They're going to take our jobs.
Right.
And then I don't know how much Democrats want immigration reform because a lot of immigrants do tend to vote for Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And based upon how our country is set up, I hate to break it to some people, history lesson, we are a nation of immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
We're built on it. Statue of Liberty, right? Give us your tired, poor, weak, and
huddled masses.
Masses. We are supposed to, and until you change that in our laws, that's what we're supposed to do.
Apparently some folks don't know their country. I don't know.
But they know that.
But they're patriotic as fuck.
They know that one part, the Second Amendment part. They know that part shall not be infringed.
And they know how to buy made in China American flag apparel and wear that every day.
Which you're not supposed to do according to the flag rules.
So, yes, but they believe that that's what makes them patriots.
Yeah. But get back to the Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed. Well, you're infringing on hunters. Just saying.
They don't care. So they don't. I mean, like I said, it boils down to, it's very simple. Biden bad, Trump good.
Whereas we are like, all right, you got shit on Hunter, good, you got him. If you have shit on Joe, okay.
Every time they come up with one of their crazy things, I'm like, fine, investigate them. I'm like, you know what? Whatever wastes your time more so that you're not making fucked up laws and whatnot, coming up with fucked up laws, go ahead. Because come time for next elections, the ads are going to be real clear. I mean, can you imagine what the ads are going to be? They're busy crying over gas stoves. No one said you couldn't have a gas stove. They're more unhealthy. I mean, there's been studies done on them that they contribute more to like asthma and whatnot. But if you want to have it, go ahead. Go ahead. No one cares.
Don't be bringing up science.
I mean, no one's taking it away from you.
Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap this up on that. Hopefully Putin doesn't go nuts and like nuke his own country.
Hopefully. I mean, there's no telling with that guy.
I don't know. And, hey, yeah, it's tragic. People on the sub's tragic. I feel mostly bad for that 19-year-old kid who didn't really want to even go down there in the first place.
Yeah, the kid was the saddest because it's like he had his whole life in front of him.
Yeah. So all billionaires aren't bad. All immigrants aren't bad, and that's tragic that happened. It's tragic all around. But I guess the lesson is, if you're mad about all the coverage about the sub, just turn it off. Turn it off. There are other news stories to read out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that information, everything's out there. Everything's out there. So
try to listen to all of it.
yeah.
Don't get a brain constipation where you just get stuck on one fucking thought.
Or you could just listen to this podcast because we covered about it all.
Yeah.
So there you go. It is all wrapped up in like a nice 35 minutes. And that's the way it is.
Well, they shouldn't just listen to us either.
No.
They should listen to lots of different sources.
Yeah. You could listen to Joe Rogan and Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. We need to touch on that one.
Oh, that's for another day.
Yeah. What is the infatuation like? Robert Kennedy Jr. is a Democrat, and boy.
Have you heard his voice?
I sat down.
It is weird. I'm like, how is that a leader's voice?
I was going to.
I don't want to listen to that.
I was going to sit down and I wanted to kind of listen to the podcast with Rogan, and again, anti-vax, but that seems like a conversation that was so 2 years ago.
I know. Why are people still so fixated on that? I don't understand.
Because they have to be. People cannot be proven wrong. You can't reach a compromise like, well, we kind of really don't know whether masks work or not, right? We don't know.
Right.
We don't really know what helped. We don't really know how much the vaccine helped or not because half were against it, half were for it. Personally, I think the whole mask time, I never got a cold the whole time.
I know. I've had
3 or 4
sick.
since.
Yeah.
So there has to be something to that.
Right.
Something.
Well, and the thing that I don't understand why they're still going on about it is because for the simple fact, there are no mask mandates anymore. There haven't been for a while. Why are you still so fucking mad about it? I don't get that.
Because alpha males.
You hurt me. I'm never going to get over it.
Alpha males like the Kennedys and Rogan, you can't admit you're wrong. You just can't.
They don't even have to admit they're wrong. They could just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because like
no mandates exist anymore.
Like how we're saying is we don't know.
Right.
We don't know if we were right or not.
And personally, like, okay, I will say this. If somebody is that adamant about that they didn't want to wear a mask, fine. After a while, didn't I said it on this podcast. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of listening to them. Fuck them. Don't wear a mask then. I'm done listening to you. You're like a bratty kid that I can't fucking get away from. So do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Go play in traffic. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done listening to you. You were that irritating and that adamant. Okay, you got your way.
Yeah. So it's whatever. So
yeah.
Everybody's gonna do what they want anyways.
Yeah. Fine. Fuck it.
He said.
Right?
Do what you want. Do what you want. Classified documents. Do what you want. Take them. Take them. Don't take them. You could declassify them in your head.
I bet you anything that this will probably not be the last time that classified documents are taken.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm just going to put my wager down right now, I'll bet you. Could
you imagine, like, really, was Donald Trump really sitting there with those? I picture this, like he's sitting in his bathroom with all those boxes, while he's angry, twittering, realizing he has the nuclear codes like right there in the box in front of him.
I don't know. Does he? I mean, I don't think he really even reads, does he?
No.
Yeah. No. So we'd have to have somebody come in there and read them to him. If he could even hold his concentration that long enough, because it wouldn't really be about him. So why would he be interested?
Yeah. We'll end it on this because we didn't touch on this. He did that interview on Fox the other day where he pretty much admitted, well, I had my shirts in there and stuff. I'll make good shirts, like the best golf shirts ever. But I just didn't have the time. I'm very busy, as you know, very busy. I couldn't have the time. I meant to go through it. How much do you think the prosecutors were salivating at that you just pretty much admitted it?
He's always admitting shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then you have all these witnesses who are flipping and they're testifying. The Alex Jones's right-hand man who was in the room, the war room on January 6th, has flipped and is turning his phone over.
Good.
So, I mean, just screw.
You busted.
Yeah. So clop a plea deal.
Yeah.
Cop a plea deal.
Yeah.
Done. Just go away. Join Putin.
You would think.
Now Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Just sit by the pool all day. You and Putin can, text each other.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All right.
That's it for this week, and we will talk to you soon.
Love y'all.